Capitalism 2077, a game about the ancient rivalry between ruthless corporations and rockstar vigilantes. I play as V, a gun for hire which after a job gone wrong had to insert an experimental chip into his head, causing him to develop severe schizophrenia. Or at least, that's what I think happened. The biochip is now overriding my memories with those of Johnny Silverhand, a rocker boy turned terrorist turned digital construct. Plagued by these visions of Keanu Reeves, I'm gonna have to complete everything Night City has to offer. So that means completing every mission, side mission, and gig in the base game. Let's begin. I wake up in a landfill getting pulled out by Rick Ross. He decides to show me a pretty good John F. Kennedy impression, but seems a little too into his role. To my right is Takemura, the bodyguard to the most powerful CEO in Night City, Saburo Arasaka, CEO to Arasaka Corporations, or at least he was. Now tasked with finding Saburo's killer, Takemura believes the blame lands on me. Why, you may ask? Well, it all started with a job. The objective? Find and secure the Relic, a biochip with a digital copy of Johnny Silverhand's mind. A rocker boy from 50 years ago who went missing after, allegedly, bombing Arasaka Tower. Me and my partner Jackie secure the chip, but before we can leave, someone enters the room forcing us to hide in a maintenance shaft. It's Saburo with his son Yorinobu, and with them, Takemura. But in the biggest blunder in history, Saburo tells Takemura to leave him alone with his son. At which within 1 second of being alone, Yorinobu decides to show his father a WWE move he saw on TV, but gets a little carried away. Security comes back where he blames his father's death on poison, and they're just like, and leave. Jackie, if they find us, you know we're cooked, right? With the way clear, we leave through the back and immediately get caught. We send it off a 2-story balcony where the case holding the chip breaks, and so to keep the chip safe, Jackie inserts it into his head where we then fight our way through tons of Arasaka guards and eventually make it back to our car. Once we make it out, we decide to meet up with our fixer, the person who gave us the job. On the way there, Jackie inserts the chip into my head to keep it safe and decides to... I make it to my fixer, and as a reward for getting caught, he... Alright, back to where we were. Takemura begins to take me back to Yorinobu, but after getting attacked by a group of Arasaka assassins, he seems to have a change of heart and takes me to Victor, my Ripper Doc, a doctor that specializes in cybernetics. Here is where Victor tells me the chip in my head is what saved my life. When I was shot, the chip activated and revived me. But there's bad news. The chip is programmed to wipe the memories of the person it's implanted into and replace it with the memories on the chip, which in this case is Johnny Silverhand. Once this process starts, the brain becomes reliant on the chip to survive, so if for any reason it gets removed... But it's not all bad news. This process takes time, so if I could find a way to remove the chip before it's done, I might still survive. But if not, I'm dead. After recovering, I get sent back home and have my first encounter with Johnny.
Who you work for? Start talking.
We have a little fight because he thinks I work for Arasaka, but after fighting him off, I get a call from Takemura telling me to meet him at Tom's Diner. I find him where he then tries to convince me to testify against Yorinobu as I'm the last living witness to the crime. Testify against the new CEO of Arasaka, the strongest military corporation in Night City. I'm gonna have to say no on that one, Takemura, but thanks.
Hey, wait. I need you.
He tells me he has allies ready to bring Yorinobu down and reminds me that little chip in my head was made by Arasaka, and promises me that if I help him seek revenge, he'll bring me to the ones who know the most about the chip. Anders Hellman, you mean? Arasaka's leading bioengineer?
You know this name? How? Prep for the heist.
He tells me Anders Hellman fled Arasaka and he had someone else in mind, but before explaining more, Takemura gets a little distracted.
Yeah, CBDBD,
Hey, I was listening to that. Shut up.
After that small altercation, I agree to help Takemura get revenge in exchange for help with the biochip, but before running into Arasaka's arms, I think it would be best to check out my other options first. Right now, I have 3 leads. The first, obviously, being Takemura. Testify against Yorinobu, and in turn, Arasaka helps me with the chip they created. Second, find Evelyn Parker, the one who wanted the chip in the first place. Evelyn is the one who hired Dexter Deshawn, who in turn hired us. So seeing as she wanted the chip, I'm sure she knows something that could help us. And my final option, find Anders Hellman, the lead bioengineer on the Relic project. But as Takemura just said, he's fled Arasaka, so I'm gonna have to find another way to get to him. Luckily for me, looks like Johnny figured out I don't work for Arasaka and sees his biochip is killing me. He says he wants to help and says if anyone knew where Hellman went, it would be Rogue, an old friend of his and Night City's #1 fixer. But wait, Johnny's the whole reason I'm in this mess in the first place. If he wants to help, why doesn't he just stop the chip? Well, turns out Johnny isn't controlling the biochip. He's just the data on the chip and it's completely automatic, whether he likes it or not. But with no time to waste, the lead I decide to take is Evelyn Parker. She obviously knows something about the chip, so I think she's my best option, but the thing is, she's not picking up my calls. I ask around, and a friend of hers, Judy, tells me to check out Clouds. And, Interesting place. Hello. So I head over, and after an enlightening conversation with the building's manager, I learned she was sold off to someone named Fingers, a shady ripperdoc on Jig Jig Street. With my eloquent way of words, I'm able to learn from Fingers that he gave Evelyn to a gang that's known for kidnapping and torturing people so that they could record and sell it. I tell Evelyn's friend Judy, and she decides to help me find her. We find one of the recordings, and with it, we're able to track down where it was recorded. Once we get there, I take out a few scabs and find an unconscious Evelyn Parker. I take her to Judy's apartment and ask her about the biochip.
I know it's a bad time, but I gotta ask. You got any idea how to remove the biochip?
Alright, well, that's not gonna work. But luckily, Judy found something. A recording showing why Evelyn wanted the chip in the first place. Turns out she was hired by the Voodoo Boys, a netrunner gang in Pacifica. So it looks like if I want to know more about the chip, they're my best bet. The thing is though, the Voodoo Boys are very skeptical of outsiders, so I'm gonna need someone to put in a good word. That's where Mr. Hand comes in. But before I say who Mr. Hands is, let me explain Night City's districts. Night City has 7 districts: Watson, Westbrook, the City Center, Haywood, Santo Domingo, Pacifica, and finally the Badlands, which technically isn't part of Night City, but it's close enough, so let's just pretend that it is. And each of these districts has a corresponding fixer. These fixers are the ones who give gigs in their respective areas and know everything that goes down in their district. Each of these districts will come into play later, but for now, with the Voodoo Boys residing in Pacifica, I'm gonna have to contact that district's fixer, which, surprise, surprise, is Mr. Hands. I tell him what's going on, and he agrees to set up a meeting, then sends me to a church in Pacifica. I meet with my contact, and he says they'll allow me to meet with the Voodoo Boys leader, Brigitte, if I do a gig for them. With no other option, I agree, and he sends me to Placide.
So I do this, and you put me in front of Brigitte, right? What the hell?
As you can see, the meeting is going pretty good. I jack in and he explains the job. Just sneak into the gym and take out a Netwatch agent that's been spying on them. Netwatch are essentially the cops of the internet, so already this isn't sounding good, but I have no choice, so I head over. I sneak past some muscle the agent hired, but end up finding someone named Sasquatch. With my epic gamer skills, I'm able to steal her signature weapon, making the fight way easier, and eventually defeating her first try. With Sasquatch incapacitated, I choose the high ground and spare her. Just kidding. I eventually find the Netwatch agent where he tries to convince me the Voodoo Boys are gonna double cross me. They're playing you. They're not gonna help you. Yeah, sure. Whatever you say, Corpo. I jack into the agent, but once I do, something weird happens. A map automatically opens up, showing me the location of a dozen other Netwatch agents, but before I can figure out what's going on, I died. Again. Guess the man was a lion. If it wasn't for the chip, I would have been done for. Turns out when Placide made me jack in, he slipped in a virus, and once I jacked into the agent, it activated, killing every Netwatch agent it could, and then finally flatlining me. Alright, Voodoo Boys, I see how it is. But before doing anything rash, I do still need to talk to the leader. I head back to Placide and have a very civil conversation where finally Brigitte shows herself. She tells me the reason they want the relic is to contact Alt Cunningham, Johnny's girlfriend before he and the best netrunner of her time. But the thing is, she's dead. Well, half dead. I'll explain more in a second. They believe by using Johnny, they could lure her out, but to do so, I'll need to go into the net with them. And yep, she won't help me unless I do this.
I'm just a silly guy at times.
They wire me up and we get sent into the net. To make sure Alt detects Johnny, Brigitte temporarily strengthens the connection between me and the relic, causing me to see Johnny's memories. I see Alt and Johnny talking before she gets kidnapped by Arasaka. Then, in retaliation, Johnny storms Arasaka Tower to get her back, and after fighting past wave after wave of Arasaka guards, Johnny finally finds her. Remember when I said Alt is half dead? Well, this is where that happened. Arasaka, just like with Johnny, copied all of Alt's memories and turned her into a digital construct. But as Alt's digital form was being inserted back into her body, that's when Johnny found her. And Johnny messed up bad. When he disconnected this wire, it severed Alt's digital psyche from her body, trapping her in the net.
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms. Boom! Boom! Boom!
And that's where Alt could be found even now, 60 years later. Oh, and then 10 years later, Johnny dropped a nuke into Arasaka Tower and then got digitized as well. Anyways, with my connection to the relic strengthened, Brigitte takes me deep into the net where she tells me Alt is hiding from Arasaka behind the black wall, a digital wall created to hold back rogue AIs that want to hurt humanity. And of course, she wants me to go in there. All right, here we go.
Johnny, you cannot remain here.
Thankfully, Alt brings us to a safe haven where me and Johnny ask for her help with the biochip. She agrees to help us, but only if we get her into Mikoshi, a data center where Arasaka stores everyone they turn into a digital construct like Johnny. Alt says by using Mikoshi, she can't save the real me, but can copy my memories onto a biochip and insert it back into my body, which will let a digital and completely normal version of me live on. That's an option, I guess. Thankfully, I still have 2 other leads I can take before willingly digitizing myself, and anyways, the closest access point to Mikoshi is under Arasaka Tower, one of the most guarded buildings in Night City, so it wouldn't be smart to just barge in through the front door just yet. With that plan set, Alt gives me a code to contact her once we're ready and sends me back to the physical world.
So you managed to survive.
No thanks to you, I'm sure.
You must not take any of this personally.
So it's okay to make me the fool. That how you do biz?
You dare now to lecture me?
Think I'd rather give you your due.
What the heck?
With the Voodoo Boys dealt with, I spend $6 to repent, securing my place in the afterlife, and head outside where the relic starts to take its toll on me, and I have a little chat with Johnny.
Help me settle my score against Arasaka.
He goes on a rant on how much he hates corporations, and more specifically Arasaka, then tells me how he was trapped in Mikoshi for 50 years and wants to stop Arasaka from doing that to anyone else. Of course, I agree to help him destroy Mikoshi, and we head off. With Evelyn Parker's lead coming to an end with Alt Cunningham, that leaves me with 2 more paths I could take to get this chip out of my head. I can meet back up with Takimura and help him get revenge for Saburo's death in exchange for Arasaka's help with the biochip, or I could track down Anders Hellman, the former lead bioengineer on the Relic project before he ran away from Arasaka. I decided to go for the person who literally worked on the chip, Anders Hellman. With Anders Hellman being a part of the creation of the biochip, hopefully he knows a way to get this chip out of my head that doesn't involve turning me into a digital construct. With Hellman deserting from Arasaka, it's going to make it a little more complicated to locate him, but luckily for me, remember Johnny said we could speak to Rogue, an old friend of his and the fixer of the afterlife. A bar reserved for the best of the best mercs and fixers. But before leaving Pacifica, I figured since I'm already here, might as well finish the very few gigs that can be found here. 2 of which are for Regina Jones, the fixer of Watson. She's asked me to non-lethally take out targets that can be found all over Night City and have gone crazy from having too many cybernetics installed. Otherwise known as cyberpsychosis. It's not known why this happens yet, but that's why Regina wants them alive. Fighting fully borged out psychos might be a tough fight, but would I lose? Nah, I'd win. Anyways, with both of the cyber cycles down, I head for a gig that's actually from the fixer of Pacifica, Mr. Hands. He tasked me with stealing a van from a local gang. After fighting past a couple of them, I find the van and drive it to the designated location, and well, that's actually it. For some reason, Mr. Hand only has 1 gig, so just like that, every gig in Pacifica is complete. And with that, I head over to the afterlife and find Rogue in the back, where I ask her about Hellman. She says she's happy to help me, for 15,000 eddies. With no other option, I painfully transfer her the money, where she tells me she'll need some time to get Hellman's whereabouts. So to pass the time, I decide to finish some more gigs and side missions, starting with Watson and Westbrook. I take out a few more cyber cycles, help a man with a cyberware malfunction.
I gotta get to a Ripper, man.
Help a cop cope with the death of his pet tortoise.
Barry, you fucking asshole. I'm sorry, okay?
Took out an illegal pachinko parlor, found and saved a guy in a fridge, accidentally joined an Illuminati conspiracy that turned out to be true, at which point they kidnapped my mentor and left only his pupil.
Donate now!
Oh, yeah?
To our memorial for
Then I headed back to Judy's apartment to check on Evelyn.
I think there's someone right there.
Judy says she wants revenge. She blames the manager I knocked out earlier for selling Evelyn in the first place and asks for my help. Of course I agree, and we take a little trip to Clouds where we conveniently find him all alone in the maintenance room.
Evelyn's dead.
Come here just to tell me that.
Then to finish off Watson, I complete a few more gigs and side missions, and with that, Watson is complete. Now for Westbrook. I make friends with this guy that has a grenade for a nose, and of course, as any good Night City citizen should, after knowing him for a solid 5 minutes, I help him fight off the police, and then we part ways. I then get a job to deliver a car to a local gang as a gift.
Quick, let me out before Kirito.
So I take it to them, and they seem pretty happy. Finally, I finish a few more gigs for Wakako, Westbrook's fixer, and just like that, all of Westbrook's gigs are complete, leaving me with 3 out of the 7 districts done. With that, I check back in with Rogue, and she has some good news regarding Hellman. She found a suspicious looking convoy, a lone AV, no cargo manifest, and no ground support, almost as if it's trying to fly under the radar. And sure enough, Rogue checks his passenger list, and on it, 1 VIP, which she believes is Hellman. She says the convoy is set to fly through the Badlands, and to ensure I'm able to stop it, she tells me to meet with a native of the area, Panam. I find Panam at the edge of the city, where she says she has a plan to take down the AV, but there's just one problem. Her plan requires her heavily modified car, and it just got stolen by her partner right before they were able to sell some cargo. So for now, she's stuck with this. Luckily, she knows her former partner is still trying to sell the cargo, and the plan was to sell it at Rocky Ridge, an old abandoned town right outside Night City. So to get her car back, we head straight over and come up with a plan.
Nice ride. Lots of space. Practical.
Say no more.
We make it to the town in one piece, somehow, and start working on the plan. Pan comes up with a plan to restore power to the town by jump-starting a nearby substation so that when the people arrive, we could turn the electricity back on and surprise them, which will give us just enough time to sneak right past them into our car and drive off into the sunset. Sounds like a pretty good plan, so I agree, and then we wait for them to arrive. Okay, here they come. Turn lights on, sneak past, drive off. Turn lights on, fight past, drive off. Turn gun on, fight past, get in a fist fight. Wait, what? With everyone thoroughly dealt with,
I'm dying. Help me.
we get in her car, but Pan realizes something. Her former partner Nash wasn't part of the group I just terrorized, and she wants vengeance.
I'm Batman.
She says she knows where he's at, and since I'm such a cool and nice guy, I agree to help, and she drives me to his hideout.
Why are we going so fast?
Where we take out some of his people, and where I give Nash a little hug. With Nash and his gang dealt with, we sell Pan cargo, and then start discussing the plan for Hellman, where she shows me this. One of Night City's many power stations. Hellman's AV is set to fly right past us in a few hours. Her plan? We drive down to the station, and I jack into her car turret and shoot down any security drones there are. Then she rams into the control room where she connects a detonator and I overcharge the computers. Looks like all this electricity is messy with my cyberware, but we finish it quick and we run out of there where Johnny starts tweaking from the electricity. We drive a safe distance away and park on a nearby cliff and wait for Hellman's AV to show. And just like clockwork, Hellman's AV appears in the distance, and once it gets in position, I press the detonator and...
Bullseye.
Pan, the engines are still running. Fuck, they're getting away.
They're going nowhere.
Looks like the blast wasn't big enough to ground it, but luckily Pan's here, so she just pulls out a rocket launcher and gives the AV a huge hit, forcing it to land. We follow it until the crash lands, but by the time we make it to the crash site...
Now!
Step back! Back! Toss your weapons or I'll shoot.
That's Mitch, one of Pan's friends. He saw the AV get hit and came to help, but there was just an itsy-bitsy misunderstanding. I asked him about Hellman, where he says he saw a group of them leave to a nearby gas station. Me and Pan make it to the station and fight our way through all the Kang Tao agents, where finally I find Hellman in the back.
Who sent you?
Hey, easy. We gotta talk.
Who are you working for? You're a Nobu artist.
With Hellman down, I call Takemura because I remember him telling me to call him once I got Hellman. With that, I take Hellman to a nearby motel and start asking him questions.
Hey, I got a problem, and you're gonna help me. Got Johnny Silverhand's construct stuck in my head, and I don't want it there.
Silverhand.
You have to remove the biochip from my system.
To know more, he says he needs to examine the chip, so I let him jack in and...
Oh, fuck.
What? What is it?
I'm afraid I have bad news. Your neural network has completely deteriorated. It can no longer function independently of the chip.
He says he doesn't know a way to remove the chip without killing me, but gives me the blueprints. It's useless now, but if I can find someone who knows how to read it, I should be good. And with that, I leave Hellman with Takemura.
What'll you do with him?
I haven't decided yet.
Are you serious?
I head outside where I get another reminder my time is running out to get this chip out of my head. To catch my breath, I sit down where me and Johnny talk about Mikoshi. He says Arasaka uses it to control people, turn them into whatever they need.
Realize what you're doing to me is what Arasaka's doing at Mikoshi.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm gonna fix it.
And with that, Hellman's lead comes to an end. And for my efforts, the blueprint to the biochip. With Hellman found and the blueprints acquired, that leaves me with just one more option. Takemura. With Takemura currently interrogating Hellman, I decided to give him some time and complete some more gigs and side missions. And since I'm already here, might as well start with the Badlands. Welcome to the worst place in the world, New Jersey.
Dude, this is Jersey.
I mean, the Badlands. Home to a nomad group of homeless people known as the Aldecaldos. They left the hustle and bustle of the city for a simpler life of living in their cars and smuggling illegal goods. Oh, and remember Pan? Well, she's actually part of this nomad group, and while I was out completing gigs for Dakota, the fixer of the Badlands, she called asking for my help. So I complete Dakota's gigs, then head for Pan where she says the leader of their group, Saul, was kidnapped and needs rescuing. And Pan knows where he's at. I don't know Pan. I kind of got this chip in my brain that's about to kill me in like 10 minutes, so...
I'm sure you won't turn down one of the best sniper rifles on the West Coast.
A sniper? Alright Pan, I'm in. We drive over to where she thinks they're keeping Saul, where I sneak in and take out anything that breathes. I find Saul and he's completely alone. And he's not even tied up. Why he didn't just stroll out of here on his own, I don't know. I escort him back to Pan, but we get hit with a heavy dust storm and have to spend the night in an abandoned shack where V tries to bust it down sexual style.
Ma'am, I'm sure you'd be cozier with your shoes off.
And in the morning, as promised, my reward. The Overwatch sniper that I'll use maybe once. Oh, and one more gift. Sexual harassment.
Yes!
And with Saul saved, I continue exploring the Badlands where I find this. Remember this guy, Rick Ross? Whole reason I'm in this mess? Yeah. Well, on him, I found the gun that he shot me with, which feels really weird to hold, but more importantly, behind him, I find an unplugged freezer. And inside, I find the best netrunner to ever live, Rach Bartmoss. Remember that black wall from earlier? Well, this guy was the whole reason it was even made. Back in the day, Bartmoss released a virus known as Rabbids into the old net, and to make a long story short, it infected about 80% of the net and turned military AIs against their makers. Then, Netwatch stepped in and created their own AI, the Black Wall, which was programmed to fight off and lock away the rogue AIs that got infected with Rabbids. After his attack, half of Night City was after him, so in an effort to not take responsibility for his actions, he hid himself in a cryogenic freezer that was connected to the net. But as you could see, that didn't end well. On Bartmoss, I was able to find a cyber deck, and I took it to a netrunner that I met at the Afterlife.
Hey, Nix, listen. Found something. Bartmoss's deck. Think you can pull anything off it?
I can try. Ha! We're golden.
I disconnect him before his brain fully fries, and he says that before he started tweaking, he found some viruses on the deck, which I could use to make my enemies, Then to finish up the Badlands, I meet up again with Panam. She says she's planning to hijack a military convoy. They're supposed to be transporting a type of tank known as a Basilisk nearby, and Panam thinks it would be useful to defend the camp. Her plan is to hack into and drive an abandoned train over a railroad crossing to stop the convoy and then take them out, which we do easily thanks to the viruses I got from Bartmoss. We get the Basilisk back to camp where me and Panam take it for a test drive, but then we get attacked by the same gang that tried to kidnap Saul earlier. I have no idea what these two guys thought they were going to do to a literal tank, but I like their confidence. I drive back to camp where I see us getting attacked. So, of course, I blow them up. In celebration, me and Panam have a drink where I get reminded I'm literally dying and helping some people get a tank maybe isn't a good use of my time. I wake back up where Panam says I've been out for hours. Looks like the chip's symptoms are getting worse. I'm sure I could wait a little longer. And anyways, that was the last thing I had to do in the Badlands, but I still want to finish up one more district before meeting with Takemura. Santo Domingo, which is where I find and help Joshua, a convicted murderer. He's on death row and wishes to be crucified in the name of the Lord. And of course, I oblige. And everyone knows after a crucifixion, you gotta get something to eat, so I went to a nearby food stand, but while I was ordering, the food vendor's bike was being stolen, and he asked for my help to stop them.
Now back the fuck away from him.
Or you'll do what?
I could break your jaw, fracture your skull, shoot you. The possibilities are endless.
Then you can die together. Yo, Brad, ain't that... Yo, that's the dude everyone been talking about. When they came back from the dead. You know how many gonks he's offed already? And I ain't even talking solo. Shit, he following us?
Ha, word spreads fast, I guess. Maybe becoming a Night City legend is still in the cards for me, even with this chip in my head. And finally, for Santo Domingo, I complete a few gigs for El Capitan, the district's fixer.
Down in the dumps today, are we?
Then I take out some more cyber cycles for Regina, and finally, right before leaving, I find this weird looking symbol. I text El Capitan about it, and he says he links it to a kid from a year back, David Martinez, and says that he actually has something from him that I could have if I meet him at the dam. So I head over and find this, a cool looking EMT jacket. And now with everything in Santo Domingo complete, that leaves me with 5 out of the 7 districts done. Only 2 more districts before I complete everything Night City has to offer. But that's not all. I've been saving up all my money, and now with Santo Domingo complete, I now have over 1 million eddies. So I head back over to Victor, my Ripper Doc, and buy the best cybernetics money can buy, putting me a little over the edge into Cybercycle territory. And after buying my favorite car, the Rayfield Caliburn, that brings me down from well over 1 million eddies down to 80,000. Worth it. Now, with the best car in cybernetics Eddies could buy, I meet back up with Takemura. He wants me to testify in front of Arasaka executives against Yorinobu on the death of Saburo Arasaka. And in exchange, Arasaka helps remove the biochip. But there's just one problem. After Takemura defied Arasaka's orders by taking me to Victor's instead of handing me over to Yorinobu, now he's being hunted by Arasaka just like I am. But he thinks if we can bring Yorinobu's crimes to light, Arasaka will forgive both of us, allowing Takemura to continue working for Arasaka while I get help with the biochip. But with both of us being hunted by Arasaka, how does Takemura expect us to do that? Well, the first step is to meet with an old friend of his, Oda, the bodyguard to Yorinobu's sister, Hanako Arasaka. Takemura believes if we can convince Oda of Yorinobu's crimes, he'll be able to set up a meeting with Hanako, and if Hanako believes us,
we're golden.
Is this him?
Your thief. He's my witness, V.
Was there. Saw what happened. Yorinobu strangled the old guy.
Silence! You will bring death to your door. But it is the truth. Hanako-sama must hear it. My one concern is to keep her safe.
in this city forgotten by the gods. You cannot ignore this.
Oda, not like we're asking for a whole lot here. Just one brief meeting. Hanako should decide if what we say is true. You can't decide for her. Will you help?
I will not.
Great. Well, there goes that idea. But Takemura still hasn't given up. Even though Oda won't help, he still has one more plan. He tells me there's a parade happening in honor of Saburo Arasaka's life, and Hanako is set to deliver a speech during the parade. Takemura believes if he could somehow get to Hanako during the parade, he could convince her to meet with me. But with Hanako being in Arasaka, she is sure to have tons of security protecting her. And so before we could do anything, we're gonna have to learn a lot more about the parade. And with this set to happen in Westbrook, we decide to meet with the district's fixer, Wakako Okada.
Need intel on the parade that's scheduled to come through Japantown.
So it's Arasaka. Again. What I fail to understand is, why come to me? Did Mr. Deshawn not come to the phone?
Goro, remind me why Dex's fat, backstabbing ass is currently indisposed.
He is deceased. Okada-san, our intentions are honorable. We need just information. It is a matter of life and death.
Everything's on the shards.
How much does this cost? My pockets are empty.
Clearly, my gift to you. It's free.
On the shard, I'm able to see exactly where and when Hanako's float will stop for her to deliver her speech. But that's not all we learned. Apparently, the parade is going to have a net runner and a few snipers spread all around to keep Hanako safe. So our plan? During the parade, I'll sneak around and take out the snipers and net runner, which will give Takemura an opening to get onto Hanako's float. And now with our plan set, we wait for the parade to start, where then me and Takemura get in position. I sneak in through a back door and take out the first, second, and third sniper, leaving only the net runner. Taking a page out of Johnny's book, I forcefully jack out the net runner, instantly killing her. Oh shit.
I warned you. Still you struggle. Let us try another way. You will bring death to your door.
And with Oda down, that leaves no more security. I tell Takemura it's safe, and I jack into the parade system, where I see Hanako in her float.
Shit!
He shot her.
While I'm leaving, Takemura calls to tell me to meet him in an abandoned apartment block, and that when I get there to knock 4 times. So I knock 3 times. Okay, I knock 4 times.
Okay, come inside. Quick.
Now are you gonna tell me what the fuck you were thinking?
I used a sedative. I had no choice. I offered her some tea.
You kidnap Hanako Arasaka and offer her a cup of fucking tea.
And now finally, with Hanako right in front of me, I could tell her all about Yorinobu's crimes.
I was there that night at Konpeki Plaza. I saw Saburo Arasaka die. He wasn't poisoned. That's a lie your brother made up and spread. Yorinobu is the murderer.
You must be mad to think I will listen to such nonsense.
Hanako-sama, he is living proof of the terrible crime your brother committed. We can confirm every word he speaks, if only you will help him with the relic. Did you hear that? Go and check.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Arasaka, they have found us!
Damn it!
On the ground, asshole! Don't move!
After somehow surviving that, I find my way back up to the room, where I find Takemura fighting for his life. We fight our way out and then split up. And with Arasaka hot on my trail, I decide to hide out at the Sunset Motel, the same place I interrogated Hellman. I hide here for around a day, where I get a knock on the door.
Not a word.
I have a message for V. I know you're in there.
I open the door to find a woman, but it turns out she's a proxy. Someone who has an implant that allows others to speak through them.
I must make one thing clear. I still think you are mad, but...
Hanako. That you?
But I can fool myself no longer. I believe you.
How'd you find me?
Did you really think it would be enough to leave the city? Takamura mentioned he had placed a tracker on you.
Huh?
Yet even had he not, when Arasaka wishes to find someone, it finds them.
Well, that's comforting. Anyways, Hanako says if we're to talk any further, I'll have to meet her at a place called Embers. I head outside, where I get the worst mild.
Fuck.
Johnny!
You ain't dying yet. I got you.
Thankfully, I wake back up and Johnny tells me when I blacked out, he had full control of my body and took me to a hotel in Pacifica. I hope that's all he did. He says he brought me here to show me this, a set of dog tags that belonged to a friend of his when he was in the army. Says that his friend sacrificed himself to save him. Says that when the time comes, he'll agree to get erased and let me keep my body.
Tags are proof of my promise.
I do the same for you.
You seriously considering Hanako's offer?
Got a better idea?
Not yet, but I got a request. Adam Smasher. Fucker who got the better of me. Whatever happens to me, I want him zero, gone, tossed into the wind as mulch.
Right. Understood.
But before I leave, he says he wants to ask Rogue for help to get Smasher, but he wants to tell her. Says he wants control again. Obviously, I'm a little hesitant, but in the end, I agree, and with that, Takemura's lead comes to an end with Hanako. But where one path finishes, another rears its head. Johnny's. Before meeting with Hanako, I could let Johnny meet with Rogue like he asked and track down Adam Smasher. And who knows, maybe I'll find something cool on the way. And so, of course, the path I decide to take is Johnny Silverhands. But before meeting with Rogue, I thought now would be the perfect time to complete every gig and side mission for the last 2 districts in Night City, the City Center and Haywood. Starting with the City Center, but just like Pacifica, there really isn't much to do here. I take down 2 cybercycles, non-lethally, then upload a couple viruses, and finally, I get a gig to take out a certain target, which I make the target do all the work himself.
Excellent work, 47.
And with that, the City Center is complete. Just one more district, Haywood. And to start off this district, I get a gig from the soon-to-be mayor of Night City, Jefferson Perales. His predecessor died, and the news is saying it was from a heart attack, but he doesn't buy it and wants me to figure out what really happened. And to help, they put me in contact with a Night City detective, River Ward. With his amazing detective skills and my willingness to murder anything that moves, we're able to follow the dead mayor's tracks to a secret club known as the Red Queen's Race, where I find this recording of the former mayor being dragged out of one of the club's rooms by an NCPD officer. Of course. I find my way to that room, and inside, I find this headset. Perfect. Maybe there's actually something on here that can help me find out what... Ouch. After finding that booby-trapped headset and the CCTV footage, I head back to Jefferson Perales and tell him the former mayor was in fact assassinated. That seems to be enough for them as they pay me and we go our separate ways. For now. A while later, I get another call from Jefferson saying someone broke into their house, but something strange happened. He says that after he saw the intruder, he shot at him, but right after, just passed out. And when he woke up, he found no evidence of the incident. He and his wife Elizabeth feel weird about this whole situation, so they send me to investigate the area. And after looking around a little bit, I find this hidden door where I force my way in to find a surveillance room.
Jesus Christ.
While looking around, I climb up to the roof where I find a transceiver transmitting data to what looks like a van in the distance. I drive over, but the van notices me and speeds off, eventually stopping in an alleyway where they get out and attack me.
Yeah, boy.
But thanks to me being on the verge of cyberpsychosis, I easily take everyone out and jack into the van to see what they were transmitting.
So what are we looking at?
They're planting new memories in their heads, modifying their personalities. This is big shit, Johnny.
Fuck me.
I quickly call the Paralysis where Elizabeth picks up and I tell her everything, but she says she has something to tell me and wants to meet in person. Uh-oh. We meet where she begs me not to tell Jefferson. Says she knew something was up months ago and tried to investigate, but stopped after getting a call in the middle of the night.
They said I was walking on thin ice, that if we kept stirring up trouble, Jeff could have an accident. So I'm begging you, V. Jefferson can't find out about any of this. Ever. His life depends on it.
And with that, she leaves and sets up a meeting for me and Jefferson. After some thought, I decide to listen to Elizabeth since there's really nothing they could do, and knowing the truth will only make things worse for Jeff. And so I head over to meet with him, but on the way there, I get a call from an unknown number.
Yeah?
It doesn't matter what you tell him. It doesn't matter what you think of doing or do. You can't change anything.
What?
We know who you are. We know what you are. We know what you want. You are playing with fire. Don't dare cross the line.
After that interesting call, I meet up with Jeff, but right before sitting down, I notice something. A man watching over us. I scan him where it says his name is Mr. Blue Eyes. Is he the one who spiked the mayor's headset? Why is he watching us? Why are his eyes so blue? I don't know, but with him standing there menacingly, I quickly make up a lie to tell Jefferson so I could get the hell out of there. After getting far away from the Paralysis, I meet back up with River Ward.
Hey, V.
He says his nephew was kidnapped and thinks he might have finally found a lead and wants my help. The NCPD just arrested someone on a kidnapping charge and he thinks that might be the same guy who kidnapped his nephew. And sure enough, after looking through his nephew's computer, we're able to find messages between his nephew and the person the NCPD just arrested. But there's just one problem. The kidnapper is in a coma, courtesy of the Night City Police Department, so we aren't going to be able to ask him any questions. But thanks to the scientist's disregard for patient confidentiality and the use of an advanced recording software, she's able to capture the kidnapper's dreams.
And where are you up to, Mike? Come here, you rascal. You'll hurt yourself.
Okay, River notices that we can see Night City from here, and using his super detective skills, he's able to triangulate where this dream took place, which takes us to a farm in the Badlands. We make it inside the farm and find all the people the guy kidnapped, and thankfully, among them, we find River's nephew. A little worse for wear, but alive. We call trauma team to come transport everyone to the hospital, and later, River sends me a photo of him and his family thanking me for my help. I then take down the last 2 cybercycles for Regina, and find this gun with a built-in AI.
New fingerprints detected.
The fuck? What the hell are you?
User inquiry. Technical specifications. HJKE11 smart gun with built-in AI. Experimental model. Name. Skippy.
Don't get too attached though. After some time, Skippy learns who his original owner was and wants to be returned. And it turns out his original owner is Regina Jones. I painfully return him, but Skippy's story doesn't end as he intended. Regina ended up factory resetting him and then took out and sold the gun's AI components.
You killed him. You killed Skippy.
And now with no use for the gun, she gives Skippy back, but now as an empty husk of what it once was. I then helped Claire, the bartender at the Afterlife, with her vendetta against the man who killed her husband, and helped Lizzie Wizzy, a famous celebrity, with her relationship problems. And finally, to finish off Haywood, I speak at the ofrenda for my good friend Jackie, who sadly lost his life during the heist to get the biochip.
I often think back to the first time me and Jack met. It all started when he put a heater to my head. Then some badges showed up and beat the shit out of us both. It's half my fault, half his, and we hightailed it out together. Half an hour later, well, we're eating dinner at Mama Wells. He always wanted more than he got out of life. Rest easy, Chum.
And now after saying goodbye to a good friend, that finally wraps up all of Haywood and all of Night City for that matter. Now to listen to the voices in my head. I've agreed to let Johnny take control of my body so he could talk to Rogue and convince her to help us track down Anna Smasher. And so I head over to the Afterlife where I take a pill to give Johnny control. But wait, what pill? Well, way back when Victor first sent me home, Misty, Jackie's girlfriend, gave me 2 pill bottles. Omega blockers, which will help slow down the biochip from overriding my brain, and pseudoendotrizine, which will speed it up. And so that means by taking the pseudoendotrizine, I could give Johnny control of my body. And it's the opposite for Johnny. If he takes the Omega blockers, he'll give me back control. So let's hope he does that. All right, let's go. I take the pill where Johnny takes control and instantly goes to the bar.
Fuck, it's good to be back.
And now with Johnny having full control of my body, I can't do anything but watch as he spends all night drinking, getting in fist fights, getting dragged out of clubs, and to end it all with a bang, as he often does, gets in a car crash. Guess that's what I get for trusting Johnny. Thankfully, he did eventually talk to Rogue.
Smasher. He tell you about him?
Yes, Johnny found some way to get at him. Jeremiah Grayson works for Smasher. Johnny got a tip off some stripper, don't ask me how. Ebonique. Just that. Still, let me see what I can do. We're gonna get that son of a bitch.
She says she'll call me when she learns more about this Grayson and Ebonique, and then leaves where me and Johnny have a little chat about last night.
You tricked me. Just supposed to talk to Rogue.
Did talk to her.
And the stripper? Empathy brawl? Tattoo?
All required, man. Had to give Rogue something real, didn't I?
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Lesson learned. Never again. But anyways, with Rogue out looking for Grayson, I decided to do a few hidden side missions. Missions that don't appear on the map. I was able to find 3 of these hidden missions. The first, starting when I entered a clothing store. While shopping, a cybercycle attacked, but I was able to take him down considering I'm pretty much a cybercycle myself. After the fight, I got interviewed by Max Tack, where one of them seems a little too into murder.
You felt him die. Did you like it? That split second when the blood still flows, but his light's gone out?
As for the second mission, I was on my way back home where I found a data shard telling me to leave some cat food in a bowl. So I did just that, then left, and when I came back, there was a cat. So of course, I took it.
Meow.
And for the final mission, I broke into someone's garage and found a cool looking bike and a photo of a couple. Later on, I was able to find the same man in the photo and asked him about the woman, but he says she went missing. Using the detective skills I learned from River, I was able to find her in a back alley with a data shard. On it, I learned about a bike that she took from a local gang and they wanted it back, so she hid it and tried to get away. And I'm sure you could guess how that ended. So again, using my detective skills, I find her sick looking bike, so of course, I steal it. And now with those hidden side missions complete, I finally get a call from Rogue. She says she found Grayson and Ebonike. Turns out the Ebonike is an old container ship Grayson and Smasher use as a hideout. She tells me to meet her at the afterlife, and when I get there, she shows me this.
Is this Johnny's jacket?
A replica. Made to order. Real jacket must have disintegrated into dust years ago.
And after putting on Johnny's jacket, Rogue takes me to the Ebonike where we wait until nightfall to sneak in. We eventually make it onto the boat where we fight our way to Grayson. And not only that, looks like Grayson had Johnny's gun. Smasher must have given it to him after he... Mine now.
Where's Smasher now?
With the Arasakas. But I think you know that already.
When's he due back?
Never. Not coming back to this rat hole ever. I stayed behind just to tie off his loose ends.
Shit!
Smasher's out of your reach. But don't feel bad. He'll find you himself.
Finish him.
Let's end this
fucker.
quickly. Want to rip my eyes out just looking at him.
No, wait. I got something. Silverhand. You're into him, right?
Well, that didn't go as planned. Got no info on Smasher yet. But we did learn something. Where they buried Johnny's real body.
Man, I'm dead.
And of course, Johnny's a little curious and wants to check it out, so we head over. But not before finding this. Johnny's Porsche 911.
Yes!
We hop in and I drive over to the oil fields Johnny is supposedly buried at. But once we get there, we realize there's nothing. No gravestone, no marker, just nothing. Johnny seems pretty upset about this, so to cheer him up, I scratch in his initials nearby where after we have a chat.
Listen, I realize I fucked up a lot of things. Either let down or used every last person who gave me their trust. Blind, selfish bastard that I was. But I've managed one thing for now. Not to fuck this up. What we have.
No, Johnny, you fucked that up too. You used me. Lied to me. I can't trust you at all.
Is it too late to ask for a second chance?
What do you want from me?
Most people I thought were my friends. They couldn't even stand to be in the same room with me. You're fucking closest to me by a long shot. There, 24/7. And yet, you don't seem to hate my living guts.
Okay. But as second chances go, this is your last. I refuse to be that naive.
I'll try damned hard.
Now with me and Johnny made up and with no more leads on Smasher, he says to give up the chase and ask for another favor instead. He wants to meet back up with his old friends before he's gone for good. Starting with Carrie Uridine, his best friend during his rocker days. So I break into Carrie's house.
Looks like he's showering.
Okay, leave the rest to me. I'll get him out of there.
Okay.
Who the fuck?
Johnny?
Carrie?
No. That's some fucking joke.
Johnny explains the whole thing with the biochip and they catch up where Carrie has an amazing idea. He wants to bring the whole gang back together and do one more gig. But to do that, we'll need to get everyone back. That means getting back Nancy, Denny, and Henry. So I go looking for Nancy while Carrie finds Henry and Denny. Thankfully, getting Nancy is pretty easy. I find her at some dingy gang club interviewing the leader, and once I told her about the gig, she accepted. I call Carrie where he says Henry is down to join and that now they're off to Denny's house. So I head over where I find Denny and Henry having a very civil altercation that ended in Henry dumping an entire cement truck into Denny's pool, as one does. And in the end, Denny makes me choose between having her at the gig or Henry.
Ugh, if we gotta choose, let's play with Denny.
Fuck, Carrie! Seriously?
Are you serious?
Good thing Silverhand isn't here to see this.
You done?
Sorry, Henry. So now with the whole gang back together, we all meet up at the Red Dirt. I head inside where I find Denny and have a little chat with her.
How you feeling ahead of the show?
Weird. Like, I'm about to pretend to be myself. Plus, Johnny's out. Never thought I'd say I missed the bastard, but I damn well do.
After that, Nancy shows me she found Johnny's actual guitar, where I then head into the bathroom and pop my normal pills.
All right, Let's do this.
Kill it all for Alexa Free! Alexa Free!
And after that amazing gig, Johnny gives Carrie his guitar and gives me back control.
Hope that's it for last requests. Not sure I can handle anymore.
It is, and I'm starting to regret you agreed to this concert thing.
Huh. Said it was important to you. This thing with Carrie.
It was. But not more important than you. Carrie's got his life back. Whereas we should be worrying about how to get yours back.
Yeah, you're probably right. Anyways, after the concert, I helped Carrie sabotage a Japanese laser pop group known as Us Cracks. Why? Well, they're doing a tour all around America, and to promote their tour, they're doing a cover of one of Carrie's songs, and he does not like that. So we break into their room and threaten them to stop. But we learn that Carrie's manager actually signed a deal with them behind Carrie's back. So what does Carrie do? Become best friends with them and then invites me to burn down his manager's boat. And then goes on tour with them anyways. And finally, I get a job from Blue Moon to find and scare off a stalker. So by using Blue Moon as bait, she walks around a market to lure them out, and then I choke them out, as one does. And now with the concert done and Carrie being BFFs with Us Cracks, that completes Johnny's path. And now all that's left is to meet with Hanako Arasaka. When I last spoke with Hanako through a proxy, she told me to meet her at Embers to discuss testifying against Yorinobu. And now with everything in Night City complete except this main mission and the DLC, I head over where I find her waiting for me. She says Yorinobu's set to have a meeting in Arasaka Tower with many executives present, and there is where she'll sneak me in to testify. She assures me that once Yorinobu is dealt with, she'll take me to some Arasaka scientists that'll split me from Johnny.
Offers intriguing. Need to think about it.
Naturally.
Let's fly the fuck out of here.
V, do you feel all right? You are bleeding.
Fuck.
It seems you are running out of time.
And now with no time to waste, I head for the elevator and get another biochip attack where Johnny asks for control.
Pop some pseudo-endotrizine, scooch, and let me get behind the wheel. I'll get us to fucking Mikoshi.
How exactly?
Without that porcelain cunt's help. That's for damn sure.
He says he'll convince Rogue to storm Arasaka Tower with him and fight their way to Mikoshi, where they'll get all to turn me into an engram. But before we could talk any further, I black out again, and when I wake up, it looks like Johnny took me to Vix. He says he was able to stabilize the chip, but says I don't got much time left. Next time I knock out, I might not wake up.
This is your last chance to take matters into your own hands. Understand?
I know, Vic. I'll try. Soon.
No. You'll do it now.
You heard him. We've got one last chance. I'm taking the wheel. Endotrizine, Rogue, Saka Tower.
Give it a fucking rest, Johnny. It's my decision. And I gotta think about it. Need to stretch your noodle? Fine.
Just
not in this basement.
V, Christ, you're talking out loud.
Huh? Out loud? What?
Just go fix this thing.
And with no time to waste, I head outside where me and Johnny talk about what to do next.
Come a long way to get here, haven't we? Just think. It all started in a fucking landfill.
Alright, so it all comes down to this. I have 3 options. First, give Johnny control where him and Rogue will storm Arasaka Tower just like they did in 2023. And once inside, they'll fight their way to Mikoshi where they'll connect all and have her digitize me onto a biochip and insert it back into my body. This time, overriding my brain with my own memories instead of Johnny's. My second option, call Panem and get the Aldecaldos to help me storm Arasaka Tower. And similar to Rogue, we shoot our way to Mikoshi and use all to turn me into an engram. And my final option, side with Hanako and testify against Yorinobu, where after she'll put me in contact with Arasaka scientists to split me from Johnny. This is a very difficult decision. I could either sell my soul to a corporation or put my friends in serious danger where some of them are sure to die. But after a long time of thinking this over, I decide to choose myself. Instead of risking the lives of my friends, I could walk right through Arasaka's front door and fight my way to Mikoshi. Alone.
If I gotta die, rather fall into my grave, gun in hand and on fire, and not drag anyone down with me.
Huh. You just discovered what it takes to become a legend. Grab your iron. Let's mobilize.
Welcome to Arasaka Tower.
Time to party like it's 2023. Just focus. You're better than them. That's the slot. Let's make Alt at home.
Sure hope your X output performs as advertised.
The path to Mikoshi lies open.
Come on, let's go. Smasher.
Old and stupid.
Johnny Silverhand sends his regards.
Are you fucking with me?
And now with Smasher finally down, the only thing left to do is to jack into Mikoshi and meet with all.
Find the access point in the center of the room. You must
Come on, not much further to go.
immerse yourself in coolant. I will be waiting.
Don't know how, but it worked.
See ya on the other side.
This is it. Mikoshi. The place Arasaka stores everyone they digitize. And now with me, Johnny, and all inside Mikoshi, all informs me that she was able to digitize me and put me on a biochip, finally disconnecting me from Johnny. Now all that's left is to transfer me back into my body. But there's just one problem.
There is one aspect I failed to take into account.
Alt? What?
The body is a key factor in this transaction. After I transfer your construct into your body, you will die. It is inevitable. It is imminent.
Are you absolutely sure? Check again.
You shall live for about 6 months, perhaps somewhat more.
No. There's gotta be something we haven't thought of.
Your body will see you as an intruder.
But it's my body.
The biochip's nanites have altered it permanently. The body is now Johnny.
Alt, give us a minute. V and I need to talk.
I can't believe it. Everything. All we did. It was pointless. I've had enough of this. Of everything. You most of all.
Perfect. 'Cause we're sticking to the plan. I'm going with Alt fuck knows where. You're keeping your body.
Where's she even gonna take you?
Beyond the Black Wall. To become part of her. Whatever the hell that means.
And so after all this work to get to Mikoshi, it turns out all could only buy me around 6 more months. She does appear again though to give me the option to go beyond the Black Wall and let Johnny keep my body. But Johnny quickly pushes back and reminds me of his promise.
When the time comes, it'll be my life for yours. I'll agree to get wiped.
And so we agree that Johnny will go live with Alt beyond the Black Wall and I'll make the most of the short time that I have left. And with that, I head for the exit where me and Johnny say our final goodbyes.
Goodbye, V. And never stop fighting.
I wake back up now finally disconnected from Johnny, and when I walk outside, I find Panam waiting for me. She says that all the Caldos are leaving Night City. Everyone's packing up and she wants me to come with them, but I can't. I still have business to attend to here. I say my goodbyes and make my way to the afterlife to meet up with my client. And yes, I said my client. After the attack on Arasaka, Rogue retired and then made me the proud owner and fixer of the afterlife.
Hey, Rogue. How's things? Everything in order?
You tell me. Afterlife, all that goes on here, it's your mess now.
Mix me up a Wells. Gonna drink to Jackie.
You miss him?
This place, it was Jackie's dream. He wanted to work with fixers like you. Legends. Wanted everybody at the afterlife to know our names. Major leagues, V. That's the place to be, the major leagues.
And so I drink to Jackie and then say bye to Rogue, where I go meet with my client. Mr. Blue Eyes. Alright. He says what I did to Arasaka hurt them bad and they're still trying to reorganize. And because of that, he was able to sneak some data out of Arasaka while they were distracted. Arasaka is working on a space station casino, the Crystal Palace. Blue Eyes learned that they're installing a new security system today. So for a brief window, the casino won't have any automated security, and because of that, he wants me to sneak in there and steal the casino's client data. But this has never been done before. Robbing a space station sounds like a surefire way to get yourself killed, but I guess that's why he hired me.
You know why I hired you? Because you'd do anything at all for even the faintest chance at survival. Even if it meant coming to within a hair's breadth of your untimely death.
This time tomorrow, should have the casino's client data. All of it. Don't forget your side of the bargain.
Oh, I never forget a promise. Good luck.
And so I get sent into space and suit up for the biggest heist the world will ever see. And with that, I've completed Cyberpunk 2077 and became a Night City legend. In the future, I'll be releasing a video on Cyberpunk's DLC, Phantom Liberty, so if you want to be notified for that or similar videos, don't forget to subscribe. But either way, thanks for watching.